And now it's time for a preview of an upcoming game by Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're going to be taking a previewed look at Twin Tin Bots. This is a game that's on Kickstarter. It's designed by Felipe Chiartes. You might know him because he has designed some really fantastic games, including Small World and also Evo, two really great games. Well, this is a game now about robots who are picking up things and delivering them to other spots. Let me show you how it plays. This is a starting setup of a 6-player board of the game. There's actually, you can set it set up differently for 5 players, and for 4 players, there's actually 4, 3, and 2 players. You actually use the other side of the board, which looks the exact same as this, except that there is, it's a smaller hexagon, a smaller space. Now, each player starts with 3 things. They start with a base of their color, and they also have 2 robots. They have this guy here who has a little pickup bed in him, and they have this guy here who has his hands clasped before him. Both of these guys can pick up and carry resources, one in the bed and one in his arms. And players are going to be attempting to pick up these different gems that are around. Each gem is worth a certain amount of points. These blue ones are worth 2. Green ones are worth 3, and later on red ones will show up on the board that are worth 4. And you need to pick up those and take them back to your base. Players are going to be doing this by essentially programming and moving their robots. They will be doing that with these tokens that they have, as well as a sheet here. The way this works is, on your turn, you can change the programming of one robot, and then you run the programming of both of your robots. Now, changing the programming of your robot is done in one of 4 different ways. You can take one of these, move one of your order icons and place it in any spot in that one robot, or you can replace one that's already there. You can take 2 that are in there and switch them. You can even switch with an empty one. You can take one off, or you can clear everything completely, which would keep your robot from moving. When you move the robot, or when you order the robots to run, you'll go from left to right in order, and each of these causes the robot to do something different. To move forward, 1 simply causes your robot to go forward 1 space in the direction he's facing. You can go forward 2 with another one. There's also ones that will make you turn in one direction or the other. To help you remember which one turns in which way, you'll notice there's little green and red arrows on the robot, so you simply will turn one direction, one side of the hexagon in the direction that the arrow shows. Now, more importantly, you'll want to play where you are picking up resources. So there's a resource right in front of me. I picked it up and placed it on my robot. If there had happened to be another robot there holding the resource, I would just simply take it from him, and it's mine. You can also unload. If for some reason I unloaded here, I would unload to him, but usually you'll want to be facing your base and unloading on there, because that's how you get points. If you somehow unload in someone else's base, you will give them the points. And then finally, you have zap tokens. When you zap somebody else, you can zap someone who is 1 or 2 spaces away if there's no one in between you two. And when you zap somebody, you can cause that person to turn 1 space in a direction of your choice. You can make them unload, drop their load off right in front of them, or you can make them go forward 1 in a space. So that's what you can do when you zap people. Now, at the beginning of the game, each person is going to get another one of these tokens, and this token is something as a special token that only they can use. For example, I might have one that lets me move forward 1 and zap somebody. Or I might have one that lets me make a U-turn. Or turn counterclockwise twice. Or go reverse. Or go 3 spaces. Or turn clockwise twice. Or jump over another robot or anything in 1 space. Or zap both spaces that are in front of me. Or if this is on mine, I can't be zapped. Or zap both, zap 2 spaces that I'm next to. Or move 1 and pick something up. So there's all different ones that you can get. And what's interesting about the game is, whenever you drop off one of these that are only worth 2, when you drop off these, you only get 2 points, but you also get to draw another one of these special tiles that you can use. And so you have to decide whether you want to get points or not. So players are going to be moving around the board with their robots and going back and forth and dropping off the different things. And as you drop them off, over here you have a queue of more that are going to come out on the board. They always start in the middle unless the middle's full. Then they start in a spot next to the middle. And so they'll keep appearing. And once that queue has been cleared of crystals, then you'll count up your points. And whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. Remember, as you're looking at this, that this is not the final. This is just a prototype that I'm showing you, the preview. However, it's a pretty cool looking prototype. And these robots, as neat as they are, they're going to look very similar, although they'll be in molded plastic. And I'm very excited about that because they look cool, and the way they carry the crystals is neat also. Twin Tin Robots is a robot programming game, and it's not the first one. There are other ones out there, but this one is distinguished, first of all, by, the really cool components. But secondly, the fact of in many programming games, you program and then you see what happens, and oh, this person messed me up. Here you can see what everybody else is doing, and you can program your robots to kind of match that or avoid what they're going to do, or, and because there's lots of different robots going around, you'll still have that bit of, oh, that robot pushed me, and oh, you stole that stuff. There's a lot of interaction as players are zapping and stealing the things from each other. There's not enough gems to go around, and everybody wants them. But what's interesting is at the beginning of the game you can program both robots once, and then after that you can only program one robot. And so sometimes you'll have one robot off doing silly maneuvers, but you're focusing on getting the other robot to get that gem back home. Each player also has one chip that they can use over the course of the game, that instead of programming one robot on their turn, they can do both of them. So you save that for a time when you really need it. Those special chips are nice because it gives you a unique characteristic to your robots that everyone else doesn't have. Being able to go in reverse, for example, might be a really neat thing to have. I played one game where I got to do the jumping, and that was just a fun thing for me to be able to do that no one else was able to pull off. So what this game lets you do is it lets you make a quick adjustment and then go, and turns pass very quickly around the table, boom, 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 and your robots are constantly moving and going around and picking up and bumping into each other. When a robot moves, it can push another robot one space, but it can't push two robots. So there is some pushing, there's some maneuvering, and you can have a robot out there being a spoiler to others while the other robot goes and simply is picking up gems and taking them back. Some really neat ideas. In a moment, we're going to show you the link for the Kickstarter, and if it's something that you would be interested in, check it out.
Thanks for watching our review today. For more information about board games, as well as the #1 board game audio podcast, check out Dicetower.com for reviews, interviews, and more. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.